straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Here comes the money.
Are you taking the over or under? What about the favorite or the underdog? There's a lot to break down for your sports betting pleasure. This is The Money Line with your hosts, Ryan Porth and Chase McCabe, powered by TwinSpires Sportsbook on Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome into the debut edition of the Money Line right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming on the Game Nashville app. You can view us on Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook. Ryan Porth, Chase McCabe here with you. Chase, what an evening to start the Money Line. We already have upsets in the NCAA tournament. I'm sure we'll have more upsets tonight. We'll be talking about all those. We have a lot of basketball to get to for tomorrow, a lot of sports for the weekend. We have a ton to break down. Chase, how are you?
I'm great. From the betting standpoint, not a great day.
Okay.
Not a great day, but I listen, I'm starting out of the gates because I heard Jared close out a show and he said that I'm sure they're going to bring me up. Jared, come on, man. Don't you overthought it. It's gambling. It's called gambling. You put it out there. You said on the air, I should put $1,000 on Oregon State. Then do it.
And it wasn't just Oregon State plus 8.5. It was Oregon State money line, which I think a lot of people thought that was the least likely 12 to beat a 5 coming into the tournament. I think the two of us would agree with that. And Jared was so confident, not in Oregon State. He was confident that Tennessee would pee their pants. And that's exactly what they did. They made Butch Jones proud all day long because they missed shots brick by brick, and they lose to the Oregon State Beavers. Their season is over with after being a top 10 team earlier in the season. And Jared, for like an hour today, a good hour, was debating whether or not to take Oregon State money line. And he $1,000, which would have been a payout of around $3,500 because Oregon State was plus 350 on the money line, and he didn't do it.
Didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Scared money does not win you money.
It's right. Scared money does not make money. Jared, I'm disappointed in you. I am very disappointed in you. Here's the thing. I wouldn't have done it, but you said it. I should do this. I'm thinking about doing this. Go with your gut, my friend. If your gut says take them, then take them. To be honest with, my gut said that Oregon State probably wouldn't win, but I had that little voice in the back of my head, and so I did take Tennessee. That obviously didn't work out, but I got a little parlay, a little hedge fund, so to speak, of all the 12s, and right now, one down.
Hey, you can't get all 4 12s if you don't get the first one.
That's right. You got to start somewhere. So, Jared, I'm disappointed in you.
Like you said, you have to go with your gut always. Like, full disclosure, the last thing I do before I fall asleep at night is look at the hockey odds and lines for the next day. And whenever I look at those odds the night before and just go with my gut, I'm a lot better off when I go with those odds and those lines and those bets than I am when I'm looking at it right before puck drop and I'm overthinking, whether to take the Capitals against the Rangers or the Vegas Golden Knights against the LA Kings, like those two games tonight. When you just go with your gut, it usually works out best for you. So I'm also disappointed in Jared, but I will say $1,000 on a bet that's plus 350. That is the definition of risky business.
That is trying to think of a radio friendly term to use, but gutsy. But I would say
Yes.
lower, but gutsy.
I know exactly where you're going with that. But once again, this is the Money Line, the debut edition of the Money Line, powered by my friends at Twin Spire Sportsbook, who just opened in Tennessee yesterday. They have 7 days of risk-free bets where you can put in the promo code when you sign up, free 1,000, and that will get you those risk-free bets. Ryan Porth and Chase McCabe here with you on this Friday evening. Chase, it's been a busy afternoon in the NCAA tournament, and we're not just talking about Tennessee going down to Oregon State. I mean, that score, 70-56, Oregon State with the upset. I mean, that game wasn't even close, really, from about 3 to 4 minutes into the game. Oregon State led the whole way. But the biggest upset, the biggest bracket buster was Oral Roberts, 75-72 over second-seeded Ohio State in overtime. Ohio State went into that game 15.5-point favorites, and Oral Roberts never went away. Ohio State tried to pull away in the second half. Oral Roberts stormed back in the last couple of minutes. They win it in overtime, a complete bracket buster. And I even in the first half, when Oral Roberts was leading, and we see this all the time with some lower seeds. We saw it today with Colgate, the toothpaste, going up against Arkansas, where they were up like 33-19. And you're thinking that Arkansas may be that bracket buster. They may be the victim of one of those big upsets. And then Arkansas just completely storms back. So Ohio State, I think at halftime, was 7.5-point favorites. After starting the game at 15.5, I took 7.5 with Ohio State. And that didn't go well.
No, I had Ohio State in a parlay. And then when I saw that 14.5 wasn't going to happen, and I knew that pretty quickly, I said, you know what, it has that feeling. And we had talked earlier today on Darren, Donick, and Chase about the 8 previous 15s to beat 2s, and I said to myself, you know, this just has that feeling. So I jumped on the live bet, jumped on the money line. It was, I think when I got it, it was probably plus 250, something like that. And it ended up working out. So that covered the parlay and got it back. But you knew this was going to happen. I mean, number one, upsets happen every year in the NCAA tournament, but this year more than ever, because you had a lot of conference schedules that were being played and all of that, and you just didn't really know. It was hard to get a feel on any of the teams, and that goes for the underdogs too. I mean, it's a hard tournament to read this year, and with, you know, some teams that have been in COVID protocols and missing players, it kind of added that element, but it made it that much more fun.
Well, and you're in a bubble. Some teams may be without key players because of health protocols. So it's going to be a wild tournament. If you're taking chalk in your bracket, that is a mistake. So, all right. So we have the nightcap coming up here in just a matter of minutes. Wisconsin, North Carolina is about to tip off. Cleveland State, Houston won't be that much farther behind. Right now, Liberty is beating Oklahoma State 18-17. What if it's Liberty and Oregon State in the second round? I don't think it will be. I think Okie State will come back and win this game. But Oklahoma State, I mean, I thought with Cade Cunningham, they would be more heavily favored than they were coming into this game against Liberty. I saw books have it at 7. I saw others have it at 8 or 9. This was a line that did move throughout the week.
Yep.
But Oklahoma State trailing 18-17 in the first half. So that is a game that we will keep you updated on. But Wisconsin, North Carolina about to tip. Wisconsin is a 2-point underdog against North Carolina. Chase, which way are you leaning here? Because this feels like a toss-up.
I have been going back and forth all day. Those watching on the stream, this is what I'm doing. I've been going back and forth. I actually have North Carolina in my bracket, I picked them in one book, or I'm sorry, I picked them in one bet at -1.5, and then I just went Wisco +2. So
Did I just convince you? Because right before the show, I said I'm not only
yeah,
going Wisco +2,
you
but I'm
did,
going
and Ricky
Wisconsin
did.
money line.
You and Ricky did, and it was like I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I finally said, "Screw it, I'm going Wisconsin plus the 2." So, that's where I'm at. So I have completely hedged, and going to be an interesting night, that's for sure.
And you don't like hedging. You are against hedging.
No.
You know, my best man in my wedding coming up
It
in
is,
May
though.
is so my best man in the wedding coming up in May is the ultimate hedger. I mean, you should just call him Sonic the Hedgehog because he just hedges all the time. And it's crazy. He has spreadsheets galore to make sure that he hedges and he ends up being profitable. I mean, he has money on Oral Roberts winning the national championship. Like,
Now, why don't you do that? That feels like a waste.
Well, because he wanted to hedge against it in case Oral Roberts wins, and they won today. Other games tonight, Houston -20.5 against Cleveland State. That tips off here in about 5-10 minutes.
I think Houston takes care of that.
Houston has a tendency of blowing teams out.
Yeah, I think Houston is good, and they're obviously better than Cleveland State. So I'm not too worried about that one and them covering that one.
North Texas 7.5-point dogs against Purdue.
So this is the interesting one. So my guy Elijah Campbell, our producer on Darren Donick and Chase, he is all about North Texas. And
all about some mean green.
He is all about the mean green, and he's been bringing this up all week. And of course, you know, I go and I look, and I like the money line, and I like the line, and I'm like, and so I texted him right before the show, and I said, Elijah, how confident are you? And I said, would you put, if you had $500 to put on this game, would you do it? And he goes, I'm that confident.
Wow. Now, okay, so is Elijah Campbell going to put $1,000 on North Texas money line?
I don't know. I can't speak for Elijah.
I don't think Jared Stillman would put $1,000 on North Texas money line unless he has just something against the Purdue Boilermakers. Other games tonight, perhaps the most boring game on the slate, Rutgers versus Clemson. Rutgers a 2-point favorite. Do you have any lean there?
I actually have Rutgers. I have Rutgers.
How confident are you?
I'm confident. I think Rutgers moves on.
All right, you sound pretty confident.
Yeah.
So I might actually have to look into that. All right, here's one that a lot of people are going with: Syracuse +3 as the 11 seed against San Diego State as the 6 seed.
In the words of my good friend Rick Merritt, good luck, because I am all on San Diego State. I like the Aztecs to get it done.
Why?
I just think that Syracuse has, even though they got hot towards the end, the way they lost the ACC in the ACC tournament, I just don't feel like they're the same Syracuse, and I don't like how they're playing. It's not so much about San Diego State; it's more about Syracuse. I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, so Morehead State 13-point dogs against West Virginia. Now, on the morning show, Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexroad both picked Morehead State, the champions of the OVC tournament, to upset the 3 seed West Virginia. I don't see it. West Virginia is pretty darn good. Morehead State got hot late in the season, but I mean, look, if they're picking them for picking Morehead State to win outright, those two are certainly on Morehead State plus the 13. Where are you leaning on that spread tonight?
I'm West Virginia. I'm laying the 13 there. I'm West Virginia. It's a big number. It's a big number, but give me the Mountaineers.
All right, and then everybody's upset special. I don't think Winthrop can be underrated anymore because everybody's talking about Winthrop upsetting Villanova. The line opened, believe, at 7.5 when the bracket first came out. Winthrop is now a 6.5-point dog against 5 seed Villanova. Villanova banged up. They did not finish the season on a high note. Are you riding with everybody else that Winthrop is going to pull the upset tonight?
So I like the under in that game. That's my bet.
Okay.
With that, I do like Winthrop to cover. I think Villanova holds on though. So if you're gonna go either side, take the points, take Winthrop, but I think Villanova ultimately wins out. But like I said, I like the under.
You like the under? The over/under in Twin Spires is 144.
144. Okay.
So you like the under there?
I like the under.
All right. Well, I might have to go with you on that. So that's a look at tonight's nightcap of the NCAA tournament. What is your lock of tonight's nightcap? It could be the spread. It could be the money line. It could be the over-under. It could be something else. It could be a parlay of a couple of different spreads or money lines. Text us, 615-737-1025 at our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And when we come back, cash or trash. This is going to be one of our favorite segments of the money line, where I will throw 5 bets at Chase, 5 bets that I'm taking, and he will tell me whether that bet is cash or trash. That's coming up next. He's Chase McCabe. I'm Ryan Porth. This is the debut edition of the Money Line, powered by Twin Spires Sportsbook, right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
He scores! Kelly Yarncrow from the Predators out in front.
The Predators hold on for a 2-1 win, Florida.
They're skating, they pursue the puck, they create turnovers. That's how you generate more scoring chances.
The two teams are back at it Saturday afternoon. Coverage begins at noon on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's Family Leisure's Factory Direct Sale.
Which factory? From where?
Family Leisure has truckloads of new model merchandise from all their factories arriving daily.
Really? Like what?
Well, spas for one. All the new model spas are here and on sale. From Artesian, Viking, and Bimini Spas. Spas as low as $29.99.
Okay.
Family Leisure is getting all the new patio furniture styles. Hannah Mint, Trapeatone, and Woodard are on sale. And there are still a lot of floor models left to sell at ridiculous prices. The guaranteed largest selection and lowest prices in the Mid-South.
Now that's interesting.
Family Leisure has factory direct pricing on pools. 24-foot pools starting as low as $29.99 installed. And solid wood slate pool tables are only $14.99 as well.
That means the grills, smokers, and grill islands are on sale too.
Of course. Family Leisure even has the new 24-lamp wolf tanning beds on sale for $26.99.
Even the massage chairs, theater seating, and leather sectionals are on sale.
That's right. That's Family Leisure's factory direct sale going on now.
Both locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the hottest new arrivals from Callaway, featuring the new Apex 21 irons with tungsten energy core, the first forged iron designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit on the new Apex, Apex Pro, and Apex DCB today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Hey, Jared Stillman here to tell you about my most recent experience with moving. Everybody, including me, hates moving. Well, that was until I found my friends at TriStar Moving. That's right. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service through the entire process. There's a reason their motto is TriStar Moving with 5-star service. Everything was taken care of, from covering the floors, banisters, railings, the front door, the threshold, the door itself. And they wrapped and protected all of the furniture in my house and put all the TVs, you know I got a lot of them, in protective boxes. They even offer storage services in case you need a safe place to store your stuff. They do it all. The owners, Garrett and Robert, are true Nashvillians, and they care about helping the community in any way they can. So if you're in need of a move, give my friends at TriStar Moving a call at 615-640-1219 or visit their website, nashvillemoving.org/radio. That's TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and tell them Jared Stillman sent you for 5% off your entire move.
DSC. There are so many razors out there. How do you choose which one's right for you? Well, at Dollar Shave Club, we got you. With a 6-blade cartridge for daily shavers with short hair and a 4-blade cartridge for less frequent shavers with longer hair. Still confused? Well, we put both blades in one new starter box, so you can test drive both. Check out dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, and visit DSE at your nearest store. You've got questions, we got answers. Welcome to the club.
Now at a store near you.
Spring is on its way. Almost time to roll out the green carpet. Start planning now with innovative help from the Home Depot. Use our project calculators to figure how much grass seed you'll need, or just the right amount of mulch. Our online workshops and how-to videos will get you up to speed fast, from outdoor fire pits to planter projects. If you're ready to roll, so are we. Download our mobile app to get started. Bring on spring with help from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
He goes there and they get great. He goes away, they stink.
Willie Donick.
He wasn't a household name or anything, but he was a solid choice. He had credentials.
Chase McCabe.
Can I comment?
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Ryan Johansson. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Welcome back into the Money Line, ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming on the Game Nashville app. You can watch us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live. Ryan Porth and Chase McCabe talking all things sports betting. It is the debut edition of the show, and what better night to get it underway than day one of the NCAA tournament. Already a lot of action today. Tennessee goes down. Ohio State goes down. Two big upsets earlier. One could be brewing as Liberty still leading Oklahoma State. Liberty, the 13 seed, leading Oklahoma State 30-27 with 32 seconds left in the first half. So we will keep you updated throughout the rest of the hour on Liberty and their pursuit of pulling the upset on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Now, this is going to be a staple of every show of the Money Line, a segment called Cash or Trash.
Yes, sir.
And the principle of this segment is that I will set up 5 bets that I'm on, and I will ask Chase McCabe, our resident sports betting expert at 1025 The Game, whether that bet is cash or trash. And right now we are going to look at 5 different games for day 2 of the tournament. Last segment, we went through the rest of the nightcap of day 1 of the tournament. So without further ado, here is the first game on the docket for cash or trash for day 2 of the tournament.
Number 1.
All right. LSU had a great showing in the SEC tournament. They are 1.5-point favorites as the 8 seed against 9 seed St. Bonaventure. I know St. Bonaventure is a really good team. These are two opposite clubs. I mean, LSU wants to score at will. St. Bonaventure wants to slow it down. If it's a high-scoring game, you probably favor LSU. If it's a lower-scoring game and it's more ugly, St. Bonaventure mucks it up, you probably go with the Bonnies at that point in this game. I really liked what I saw out of LSU in the SEC tournament. And when you look at Trendon Watford and Cameron Thomas and Javonte Smart, that team is loaded offensively, something that I don't think St. Bonaventure has seen all season long. So the first bet of day 2 that I am on, Chase, is LSU, and I'm laying the 1.5. For you, is that cash or trash?
You are laying the 1.5. Sir, I'm going to say that is trash. I like the Bonnies in this one. St. Bonaventure, and shout out to Jerry Helper of the Nashville Predators. I know he is listening, but I hear everything you're saying about LSU, and I don't necessarily disagree because the way that they played through the tournament and really that was a fun championship game that they had with Alabama. But when I look at St. Bonaventure and going through the A-10 like they did, I mean, they had some signature wins over VCU, and I like VCU a lot in this tournament as being a potential upset special. 16-4 on the year to win their conference. I just think that the way they're going to match up against LSU, gives them an edge. I think this is going to be a close game. Would you say that it's currently at? Because I've seen it
1.5.
1.5. Yeah, I like St. Bonaventure, maybe at the buzzer, a close buzzer beater game, and the fact that they're going to have that 1.5 on their side, I like them. So I'm going to go trash, even though I think that's going to be a fun game.
All right, so I'm about to share a couple of stats that favor you going with the Bonnies, but I want to get your take on this as a seasoned gambler, even before the November start date here in the state of Tennessee.
I can't confirm nor deny that.
As St. Bonaventure is a 1.5 point dog. At that point, someone is probably asking, what's the point in taking the spread? Why wouldn't I just go with the money line of St. Bonaventure, where you're going to get a better payout if you go with the Bonnies at plus 102 instead of the plus 1.5 spread, which if you put in $5, you're not going to get the $5 back, where if you take the money line, you will get a shade over $5 back. So for you, Chase, would you take the plus 1.5, or are you just going straight money line?
Well, I'm going straight money line. I mean, in my bracket, I have St. Bonaventure's winning, but this is for those of you, and this is what we're going to try and do on this show too, is educate, because I know there are a lot of you out there that you haven't been doing this very long. You started in November because it became legal in our state, and that's fantastic. So we're here to educate you. This is one of those things that it's so close, and you can go to different websites. Covers.com is what I use a lot to kind of do some research. But this is also where you got to go with your gut. If you feel really, really good about it, like we call it a top shelf on Pick 6 and Darren Donick and Chase, if you feel really, really good about it, then go money line and just take it all the way, win outright. If you don't, if you think it's going to be close, that it could swing either way at the buzzer, where LSU could potentially win it by 1 point, then take the 1.5 and have that as insurance, as a little extra cushion. You'll have to lay a little more money down, but that's okay too. It's all about feel. And as you get into this more and you learn trends and you do research, like my buddy Rick is one of the guys I lean on, because he does the research. I mean, he is all in on the A10 and different places like that. But it's really all about feel. So I feel really good about it. So therefore I'm taking the money line.
All right, let's move on to the next game for day 2 of the tournament.
Number 2.
All right, the next cash or trash game for tomorrow is one of the first games on the docket for the entire day. It's actually the first game. Colorado is a 5.5 point favorite against Georgetown. Another one of the 5-12. It's a popular upset pick for Georgetown. A lot of brackets around the country have Georgetown moving on in this matchup against Colorado. I'm taking Colorado minus 5.5. Colorado's been pretty consistent all season long. Georgetown got hot in the Big East tournament. They blew out Creighton. I'm taking Colorado 5.5. I'm banking on a letdown from Georgetown after Patrick Ewing got his one shining moment at MSG. Is that bet cash or trash? One Chase McCabe.
Once again, Ryan, that is trash. I'm right in the Hoyas, baby. Georgetown, Patrick Ewing, security didn't know who he was. He was pissed off for greatness. He led his Hoyas through the tournament, through the Big East tournament, and they won it. And now they're going in the NCAA tournament with that momentum, baby. I love the Hoyas. And at the beginning of the week, I was kind of thinking like you, thinking, is the magic wearing off? Was this just a conference tournament thing? I don't think so. I think that it's a confidence build, and that's what they have on their side now going into this one. And honestly, a little bit of that, nothing left to lose. Let's go out and win it, baby. I like the Hoyas, so I'm calling trash. 8th in the Big East, and they win the tournament, and now they're in the dance. How about that?
They're going to have a letdown. It's going to be letdown city tomorrow for the Hoyas. Colorado, give me the 5.5. All right, another 12-5 that has been a very popular upset pick is UC Santa Barbara going up against the Creighton Blue Jays. Creighton, the 5 seed, they are 7.5 point favorites against UCSB. The Gauchos, where are you going with that one? I'm going plus 7.5 with the Gauchos. Is that bet cash or trash?
You're taking the 7.5. That's what you cut out a little bit there. I think that's cash. I like that.
Straight cash, homie?
Straight cash, homie. I like taking the points there. I told you about, my 12-5 parlay that I got going on right now, but I especially like the cushion of taking those points if they don't win it outright. And that another lesson for you. I mean, if it looks like a lot and feels like a lot, it's probably a lot. And I think in the NCAA tournament, it's so hard to really predict, especially in this one. So I like that. That's cash.
All right, let's go on to our next game. The number 4 cash or trash pick for tomorrow, Ohio. The Bobcats facing the Virginia Cavaliers. Ohio as the 13 seed is the 7-point underdog against Virginia. Give me Ohio. It is my home state, but that is not the reason why I'm taking the Bobcats. Ohio is a sneaky, sneaky good team. I think Virginia is a little overrated, even though they are the defending champs for the last 2 years, the longest running defending champs in NCAA basketball history. Ohio plus 7, is that cash or trash?
That is cash. All about Bobcats there.
Yes.
They're not saying OH in Columbus. They're going to be saying it. Where's Ohio University? Where they
Athens, Ohio. Learn Ohio University.
I'll work on it, but that is cash for sure. Virginia, there's a lot of questions with them right now of just, are they going to be on all 6 cylinders or 8 cylinders, whatever car you have, going into this game. I just don't know if they are. And so I like that program a lot, but I like getting 7 points more. So cash for Ohio.
All right. The last pick for day 2 of the tournament in cash or trash, UCLA storms back in the second half last night, much to your dismay, Chase McCabe. They are the 11 seed. They have played their way into the bracket. They are the 11 seed taking on the 6th seeded BYU Cougars. UCLA is 4-point dogs. I am all on the Bruins. The Fighting Mick Cronins going up against BYU. UCLA plus 4, is that cash or trash?
So you and Darren McFarland, you can hear this. Put your head right up to the radio. That is trash. Trash, I tell you. BYU. We talked about this today on Darren, Donick, and Chase, and Darren said BYU is overrated. They're gonna get knocked out by UCLA. He in that contest on pick 6, he said UCLA and he said top shelf. I said BYU top shelf. So a lot riding on this, but no, that is trash. Give me BYU. UCLA, Michigan State, they just peed down their leg. They gave it to them. So I think BYU handles them.
All right. Well, we will see how that goes tomorrow night. By the way, earlier in the segment, when we were talking about the LSU St. Bonaventure game, I teased a stat and I never gave it. St. Bonaventure is 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 games playing on a neutral floor. That's a pretty good stat leaning the way of the Bonnies. They are 4-0 in such games this season. And another stat to keep in mind when you are going to your favorite sports book, hopefully the Twinspire sports book, is the over-under at 144.5. St. Bonaventure, the over for St. Bonaventure games, the over is 6-1 in those 7 neutral site games. So
take the over.
Things to keep in mind for day 2 of the tournament tomorrow. A couple other things one bet that you really like is Abilene Christian. They are 8.5-point dogs against Texas. You're not a big fan of the Texas Longhorns, clearly. So you're going with Abilene Christian. I am laying the 14.5 for the Iowa Hawkeyes against Grand Canyon. Sorry, Bryce Drew. I don't believe in Grand Canyon. They have not seen anything like the Iowa offense. I think Iowa's just going to obliterate them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Sorry, Bryce Drew. Not going to happen. Iowa.
Exactly. Well, we are already halfway through the money line here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Ryan Porth and Chase McCabe here with you on this Friday evening. And we have some parlays to get to. We have some futures to get to. A couple other staples on the money line are coming up next. Parlays of the week and Back to the Future, plus an update on the NCAA tournament. We have more games in session. We'll get to all of those on the other side. He's Chase McCabe. I'm Ryan Porth. You're listening to the Money Line, powered by Twin Spire Sportsbook on ESPN 102.5 The Game and streaming on the Game Nashville app.
Saturday afternoon.
On the attack, Fabro for Ekholm. A wrister of the score!
The Predators continue their road trip against Alexander Barkov and the Panthers. Pre-game at noon. Face-off at 1 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. There's always one team that ruins your bracket. That's why this year I'm betting the tournament on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook. Because on FanDuel, your first bet is risk-free. It doesn't matter if you're betting an SEC team or an ACC team or a blue blood or a mid-major. New users get up to $1,000 in site credit back if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel has the odds on all the action. I'm going all in on Gonzaga this year. Just seems too obvious. And if that's not enough, FanDuel wants to make you a millionaire. Yes, you. They're giving away $1 million to one lucky bettor. New and existing users get an additional shot at the payout every day you bet the tournament. So if you want a shot at becoming a millionaire or even a thousandaire, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Just use the promo code JGM so they know that I sent you. Must be 21 or older, present in Tennessee. No purchase necessary. Restrictions apply for $1 million drawing. Risk-free offer for first online real money wager only. Site credit is not withdrawable. Expires 14 days after receipt. Terms apply. Sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-89-79.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 615-567-1000 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com.
Bavarian Beer House is celebrating St. Patrick's Day from Wednesday, March 17th through Sunday, March 21st with $25 bottomless green beer and live music. Head over to Bavarian Beer House and join in on the St. Patrick's Day festivities through Sunday. Visit beerhousenashville.com to learn more.
You purchased a fine European automobile because of the amazing drivability and great looks. Then someone slid into you in last month's snowstorm. European Collision Repair is Nashville's premier location for collision repairs. The state-of-the-art facility is certified by 30 vehicle manufacturers. The best part is their customer service. They will even come to you for photo estimates. If you have a fine European automobile, have the repairs done at European Collision Repair. Go to EuropeanCollisionRepair.com.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. When making a decision on windows and doors for your home, there are two factors to consider. First, I'm sure you want a top quality product that looks amazing. Second, you want a company that you can trust for service and installation. The fact that Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville is locally owned and has a long-standing great reputation should make your choice easy. Whether you're building a home or replacing windows, I recommend you contact Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Go to PellaNashville.com.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Panera's new flatbread pizzas are here. But to our new chef, Klaus, they're not just pizzas. They're masterpieces. Because it's not just cheese. It's hot and melty mozzarella and fontina cheese. It's not just sauce. It's market tomato red bell pepper sauce. And it's not just toppings. It's fresh mozzarella, basil, and grape tomatoes. Taste our delicious new flatbread pizzas today. Order online for pickup or delivery. Panera. Restrictions apply.
From working at home.
And at some point, you're going to have to draft some new blood onto the offensive line.
To working on that honey-do list.
It all kind of comes back together of everybody wanting to make the moves for the respective GMs.
Nashville's best sports talk is always at your fingertips. Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download it today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Interact with the money line. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
That's right. We are back here on the money line, ESPN 102.5 The Game. Ryan Porth, Chase McCabe here with you on this Friday evening. It is night one of the NCAA tournament. Tennessee goes down to Oregon State earlier today, 70-56. Ohio State falls to Oral Roberts in overtime, the biggest upset of the day, a huge bracket buster, a 15 seed, the first 15 seed to win since MTSU took down Michigan State. How about that? So Oral Roberts beats Ohio State 75-72 in overtime. A quick update before we get to our parlays of the week. Liberty still beating Oklahoma State. They are at the half, 30-27 for Liberty. Oklahoma State, the live line, -3. I would absolutely look at that in case Cade Cunningham goes off in the second half.
I like that, actually.
So that is on the TwinSpire Sportsbook, which this show is powered by. Wisconsin, who I took the money line right before the show, 22-18 over North Carolina right now, midway through the first half. Houston, 14-8 over Cleveland State. We both like Houston to blow out Cleveland State in that game tonight. The spread, even on the live line, is still 20.5 for Houston. And then North Texas, an early leader over Purdue, 14-9.
Yeah, baby. Make that.
So 14-10 now for North Texas. So a lot of action going on. Night two or night one of the NCAA tournament. This is really the second wave of games tonight. Then you have Rutgers, Clemson, Syracuse, San Diego State, Morehead State, West Virginia, and then Winthrop, Villanova. Winthrop, Villanova is basically like the NCAA tournament after dark. It's going to start at like 9 o'clock, and it's everybody's upset pick. So I feel like everyone on Twitter is going to be watching that game. So that should be a lot of fun. All right. So this is the Money Line powered by TwinSpire Sportsbook. It is the debut edition of the Money Line. And we want to hear what your lock of the night is for tonight's nightcap. What is your lock? What bet are you riding? 615-737-1025. Interact on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jeffrey on the text line is going with LSU. He's riding with me, the -1.5 against St. Bonaventure. That's for tomorrow, but that is his lock. I am also going with the LSU Tigers. That's a toss-up game, though. It's going to be a coin flip between LSU and the Bonnies. Should be a fun game early tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of people going back and forth on that one, and their bets with it. So good luck, man.
You're right in the Bonnies. All right, so let's get to our parlays of the week. We only have time to get in one parlay each for the two of us. So Chase, we'll start with you. What is your parlay of the week that you are riding with?
The Bonnies are a theme on this show because they are a part of this. I am taking the St. Bonaventure money line is one leg. Georgetown plus 6 is what I had it at earlier. So I'm taking Georgetown. And you have it. TwinSpires has it at what?
5.5.
5.5. Okay. I like my +6 that I got it at earlier. And then Alabama Iona over 146.5.
Okay. Now TwinSpires has it at 147.5.
Okay.
Are you still going with the over there?
Still like it. Okay. I think Ricky P, he's going to have Iona ready to go. They're going to put up some buckets, but Nate Oates in Alabama as well. So looking for a high-scoring affair there.
All right, so that's your
20 to win 142.
All right, so that is your parlay of the week. Now, I'm going to give you kind of what my strategy usually is on a Saturday or Sunday with hockey betting. So there are a lot of matinee games throughout the season for hockey on Saturdays and Sundays. The first half of the day, I like to see how I do, and then that dictates how much I do later that night. I typically don't like putting a money line parlay on a noon game with a 10 o'clock game, and then you're waiting all day to see if your parlay hits. I want to see if it hits early in the day and then see if I can parlay that parlay winning into even more at night. So there are 4 matinee games tomorrow in the NHL, and I'm going against the spread in all 4. I am in the first game, Penguins-Devils. The Devils won the other night. Evgeny Malkin is out week to week for the Penguins. The Devils usually play the Penguins tough. Give me the Devils plus 1.5. That is leg one. Leg two, give me the Panthers minus 1.5 against the Nashville Predators. Chris Drieger is going to be in net for the Florida Panthers. I'll have a trend for you in the next segment for that game for Preds-Panthers. Give me the Panthers minus 1.5. I think they bounced back from the Preds beating them last night. Give me the Minnesota Wild plus 1.5 on the road against the Colorado Avalanche.
Really?
Another matinee. The Avalanche smoked them last night. Minnesota's a good team. Colorado has been very shaky. You can't trust them right now. They're up and down. Give me Minnesota Wild plus 1.5. And then the Blackhawks at the Lightning. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning minus the 1.5 in that game. Chicago has played them tough, but Chicago's also reeling a little bit, and I feel like Tampa is going to cover that spread. So the parlay that I am laying tomorrow afternoon, matinee action, New Jersey plus 1.5, Florida minus 1.5, Minnesota plus 1.5, and Tampa Bay minus 1.5. You got that?
I got that. I was curious because I figured you would have Tampa and Chicago in there, and I was curious which direction you were going to go because I was actually looking at that one earlier, thinking that okay, maybe Chicago tries to, they gotta hang on to that fourth spot with how they've played to start the season, and I thought maybe they would jump on them and maybe you'd have them, but you went against what I thought, so I like it. I don't hate it.
That is my parlay, and I was really just going off my gut right there with those games. And usually when I put together a spread parlay in the NHL with my gut, it's usually more successful than when I overthink it. So that is my parlay of the week. All right, real quick, before we have to move on to more NCAA tournament action and our locks of the week to close out the show, Back to the Future. A couple of future bets that we are both looking at. You don't just have to bet what's going on tonight or this weekend. You can look at bets in the future. So these are called future bets. Chase, what are one or two future bets that you're eyeing right now that you're riding?
So as I thought about this, I said, all right, I got to go look at some NFL futures. And I want to go look at one particular team that was very active this week in free agency. And just for giggles, I'm going to give you this one. The Patriots are plus 3,000 to win the Super Bowl after all the moves that they made this week in free agency. I think for me, the only thing that I don't like is their quarterback. Now you're looking at me funny, and for those of you watching us on the stream, you can see that. It's called gambling, man. You gotta be able to put a little bit down on some of these long shots, and they're definitely a long shot, and I like a good long shot. So right now today, maybe sprinkle a little bit on the Pats plus 3,000. Belichick is not going to be outdone by Tom Brady.
No, thank you.
You say no.
Any team with Cam Newton as their quarterback in 2021, you should not waste your money betting on them to win the Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. Any other futures that you have in mind? The Patriots are not going to win the Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
It's called gambling, Ryan.
All right. Do you have one more future?
I do. I actually have two, but I'll combine them together. You'll get a lot of NASCAR betting on Chasing Checkers, especially on Sunday Money, which is where I give you the odds for race weekend. But to win the championship, Chase Elliott is the favorite to repeat at plus 550, and I don't hate that to jump on that now, but it's very hard to repeat as the champion in the Cup Series, especially with the playoff format that they have. A guy I'm watching, young William Byron. He got a win earlier this year at Homestead for his second career win. That's Chase Elliott's teammate at Hendrick Motorsports, plus 1,400. I think you should probably look at that because I like what they're putting together so far. He's reunited with crew chief Randy Fugel, who was with him in the truck series, and they've already won a race together. Pay attention to that, plus 1,400. Again, I like a good long shot. So there you go.
All right. So real quick, a couple futures that I'm riding. Arkansas plus 600 to make the Final Four in Twin Spires right now. The 2 seed on their side of the bracket just got knocked off today. Arkansas looked pretty darn good for most of today's game. Outside of a stretch in the first half where they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, Arkansas looked pretty darn good. Plus 600 to make the Final Four. If Baylor on the other side of the bracket gets upset, Arkansas is suddenly the highest seeded team left in that region. Plus 600 Arkansas to make it to the Final Four. That is an interesting future to look at. And then we're not too far away from baseball, Chase.
No, we are.
And
not.
I was perusing the baseball futures earlier today. Give me Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals to lead the major leagues in home runs at plus 1,200. I think Juan Soto is in for a massive year for the Washington Nationals. Plus 1,200, I think that's a pretty good flyer for Mr. Soto.
I can't wait for baseball.
I know. That's going to get dangerous with
You're going to be good at that, though. I think that's going to be
on baseball. I already have some strategies in mind for betting on baseball. So we'll get to that in the coming weeks. But coming up next, we'll give you an update on the tournament games, what some live lines are on the Twin Spire Sportsbook. We'll give our lock of the week and also some trends for the Grizzlies and the Warriors. That's coming up next here on the Money Line. Ryan Porth and Chase McCabe live on 102.5 The Game and streaming on the Game National app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobis. Cold nights continue into the weekend tonight, down to the mid to upper 30s. But the weekend looks great, both Saturday and Sunday. Jam-packed with sunshine and temperatures in the mid to upper 60s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
It's Markdown Madness at Electronic Express, and we have crazy low prices. Huge savings in every department, including all 4K TVs, home and car audio, computers, mattresses, and more. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing. We have all your appliance needs in stock and ready to deliver. You won't find a lower price anywhere. We guarantee it. Markdown Madness at Electronic Express is going on now, and you won't want to miss it. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Grab your chairs and get ready for the return of live music. The Bonnaroo Farm is proud to announce a brand new socially distanced concert series, Concerts on the Farm, featuring the Avett Brothers,
Can't save me, there ain't no man can enslave me.
Billy Strings,
I think I'll be right here to stay.
and John Party. Tickets for four-person pods are on sale now at BonnarooFarm.com.
So many times guests come in with pictures from Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook and are amazed that we have those rings in stock.
David Cooper, Vice President at Genesis Diamonds, talking about how Genesis stays on the cutting edge.
We pride ourselves of staying ahead of the curve of fashion and seeking what's new, what's hot all over the world, what's hot all over the internet, and having that in stock for you, where other stores are still chasing styles that were cool maybe 5 or 10 years ago.
Why settle for an outdated style or a stale design? Make the switch to Genesis and get the ring of her dreams with over 4,000 cutting-edge choices from the top bridal designers in the world.
We have the designer looks that you see everywhere in stock in a variety of metals, a variety of sizes and shapes, and a variety of budgets, so every customer can have exactly what they want.
Genesis Diamonds, where no compromise is ever necessary.
We are so honored and proud that so many people have made the switch to Genesis Diamonds and not only told their friends about Genesis, but have brought their friends to Genesis.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Ryan Porth here for Twin Spire Sportsbook, which I'm excited to announce is now live in Tennessee, and they're coming out of the starting gates with their best offer yet for new players with 1 week of risk-free bets up to $1,000. I know I can't wait to take advantage of this during the tournament, and you want to as well. Just download the Twin Spires app using promo code FREE1000 to get started. Void where prohibited, must be 21 or older and physically present in Tennessee. See full terms and conditions at twinspires.com. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
This is Jesse's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
As a nurse, not making it to work was not an option. But driving through the snow with my wiper blades struggling, I just didn't feel safe. So I pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and before I knew it, an employee was offering to install the wiper blades on my car. I got to stay out of the snow for a moment, and I still made it to work on time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Tonight, ESPN 1025 The Game launches a new show for you sports betting degenerates out there. It's the debut edition of The Money Line, powered by Twin Spires Sportsbook with Ryan Porth and Chase McCabe from 6 to 7 p.m. on Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
1025 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Sean Henry. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Welcome back into the Money Line. Ryan Porth, Chase McCabe here with you. The Money Line powered by Twin Spires Sportsbook here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Every Friday at 6 o'clock, the Money Line. We'll be talking all things sports betting. Really quick. Liberty, Oklahoma State. Liberty led at the half, 30-27. Oklahoma State has come out and looked pretty good to start the second half. They are leading 34-32. Now, last segment I told you that Oklahoma State on the live line was minus 3.5. They are now minus 7 on the live line on Twin Spires. So I hope if somebody was liking that bet when we were talking about it, I hope you got in on that action. Just a little bit ago. Wisconsin leading North Carolina 35-24. So I'm liking my pick of the money line for the Badgers right before tip-off here this evening. All right, Chase, let's get to our locks of the week. What is your lock? What bet are you living and dying off of here this week?
Go first.
You want me to go first?
No, I'm ready. Go
All
ahead.
right.
All right, I will go ahead. So you're going to laugh at this.
Oh, boy.
I am going to the gridiron. I'm going to the FCS.
Oh, no.
Because they are playing, and I am staying in this state. The Mocs of Chattanooga at 2-1 on the year. They are on the road at Furman at 3-1 on the year, but the Mocs 5.5, getting 5.5. Give me that 5.5. It is a lock. Book it. Chattanooga takes care of Furman and covers that 5.5.
My lock is not in the FCS. Let me just put it that way.
You were reacting the way that I thought you would.
My lock of the week, I'm going back to the ice tomorrow night. The Carolina Hurricanes got beat at home, which rarely happens. It happened last night against the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm going with the Carolina Hurricanes, minus 1.5 against the Blue Jackets. Again, they're not going to get beat on back-to-back nights or back-to-back games at home against Columbus. They're 10-1-2 at home. Give me the Hurricanes minus 1.5, and I'm going to dabble on the correct final score as it being Carolina 5-2.
Okay. I like that.
So that is my lock of the week. And one trend that I do want to get to before we have to get out of here, Chase. Tonight, the Grizzlies and the Warriors tip-off is about to happen at the Grindhouse in Memphis. The Grizzlies are 6.5-point favorites against the Warriors. The Warriors, without Steph Curry, without Kelly Oubre, the Grizzlies are 6-2 in the last 8 games against the spread. They are plus 500 on the season against the spread. Give me the Grizzlies minus 6.5.
I took the Grizzlies to win and Ja Morant over 30 points tonight.
Ooh, we will see if that happens for the Grizzlies. All right, this show flew by. Thank you, everyone, for engaging and watching and listening. The debut edition of the Money Line. Chase, we'll be back at it next Friday at 6 o'clock. And at that point, we'll be talking about the Sweet 16.
Yes, we will. And Chasing Checkers tomorrow at 9. We'll talk NASCAR and racing.
For sure. So for Chase McCabe, I'm Ryan Porth. Thank you for listening or watching the debut edition of the Money Line powered by Twin Spires Sportsbook. Enjoy the tournament. Enjoy the sports weekend. And we will talk to you next Friday at 6 o'clock.
Robbie Stanley.